Donald Trump is back in office, and his immigration rules are stricter than ever. Thousands of immigrants in the United States are now facing deportation, causing shock, fear, and outrage across the country. But which countries are being affected the most? In this video, we reveal the 20 countries where deportations are happening at an alarming rate. Is your country on the list? Stay tuned to find out. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. Do you think the United States is making the right decision, or is this unfair? Let's find out. Nigeria. Nigerians have been one of the largest African immigrant groups in the United States for years, but now many are being forced to leave. Expired visas and legal issues are causing a wave of deportations, sending people back to Nigeria, even those who have lived in the United States for decades. Families are being torn apart, with parents separated from their children, and lives turned upside down. The question is this fair or is it too harsh? Mexico. Mexicans are being deported in huge numbers. Despite diplomatic talks, many are still being forced out of the United States, especially those caught at the border. Stricter immigration rules mean more people are being sent back every day. Migrant shelters in Mexico are overflowing, packed with families who have lost everything. Some have lived in the United States for years, while others were just trying to cross for a better life. Now, they face an uncertain and difficult future. Ghana. Under the Trump administration, Ghana has been targeted for not accepting deported citizens, leading to a surge in forced removals. This has left many Ghanaian Americans terrified for their families back home. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) is enforcing harsh new policies, causing tension and fear as people worry about their loved ones being sent back. Ghana's refusal to accept deportees has intensified the situation, making families feel even more vulnerable. Guatemala. A major source of Central American migration, Guatemala is facing a deportation crisis. Thousands of Guatemalans are being sent back as the United States tightens rules on asylum seekers. Families are being torn apart, and those deported are struggling to rebuild their lives in a country where jobs are scarce and safety is a major concern. This sudden wave of deportations has sparked humanitarian concerns. How will these people survive after being forced to return? El Salvador. Deportations of Salvadorans are rising quickly as the United States ends Temporary Protected Status, TPS. For decades, Salvadorans have worked hard and helped build the U.S. economy, but now many are being forced to leave and return to a country still struggling with gang violence and poverty. Families are being torn apart, and people who have lived in the U.S. for years now face an uncertain and dangerous future. Is this fair, or is it too harsh? Venezuela. Venezuelans are facing a shocking crisis. Many fled their country to escape political chaos and danger, hoping for a better life in the United States. But now, under Trump's tough immigration rules, their future is uncertain. With temporary protected status under review, thousands don't know if they can stay or if they will be forced to return to a country still struggling with economic collapse and political instability. Families live in fear and uncertainty, wondering what will happen next. Honduras. Honduras is facing a growing deportation crisis as the United States tightens asylum rules. More and more Hondurans are being sent back, but returning home is not easy. The economy is weak, jobs are scarce, and crime is a significant problem. Many deported families feel lost and hopeless, unsure of how to start over. Honduras was already struggling, and now with thousands returning, life is even harder. China. Even Chinese nationals are now facing deportation. Many who came to the United States on student or work visas are being forced to leave after overstaying. These are skilled workers and students who hope to build a future, but now they are being sent back. Advocacy groups are outraged, saying this crackdown could harm industries that rely on their talent. With tougher immigration rules, many Chinese nationals now face an uncertain and frightening future. Haiti. Haitians who came to the U.S. after the 2010 earthquake now face a heartbreaking reality. With temporary protected status ending, many families who spent years rebuilding their lives in America now live in fear of being deported. Deportation: they worked hard, built homes, and raised children, but now everything could be taken away. Returning to Haiti is not easy. The country is still struggling with poverty, violence, and instability. What will happen to these families if they are forced to leave? Number 11. India. Indian immigrants are now being deported in large numbers. Many of them came to the U.S. on H-1B visas, working in big tech companies and contributing to technological innovation. However, those with expired visas are now being forced to leave. The tech industry is concerned, as these skilled workers have played a significant role in innovation. With strict immigration rules, many Indian families face sudden removal, leaving behind jobs, dreams, and years of hard work. Number 10. Pakistan. Pakistani immigrants are now being sent back in large numbers. Many had come to the U.S. on visas or seeking asylum, hoping for a better life. But with stricter immigration rules, those with expired visas or pending asylum cases are now being forced to leave. This has raised tensions between the U.S. and Pakistan. For many deported individuals, returning home is frightening, as some fear religious persecution and an uncertain future in a country they once tried to escape. Number 9. Brazil. Brazilian families are being sent back in increasing numbers. Many came to the United States searching for better job opportunities and a brighter future. However, due to visa issues, they are being forced to leave. In states like Florida and Texas, entire communities are feeling the impact as more Brazilians face deportation. This sudden wave of removals is causing economic struggles and emotional distress, leaving families heartbroken and uncertain about the future. Number 8. Philippines. Filipino workers are being sent home in large numbers. Many came to the United States to work hard and build better lives, especially in healthcare and service jobs. Now, with stricter immigration rules, those with expired work visas are facing deportation. Even after years of contributing to hospitals, restaurants, and businesses, they are being forced to leave. This has left many fearful and uncertain, wondering what their future holds as they prepare to return to the Philippines. Number 7. Somalia. Somali immigrants who came to the United States for safety are now being sent back. Many escaped war, violence, and poverty, hoping for a better life in America. But with stricter immigration rules, those without proper documentation are facing deportation. Now, they must return to a dangerous country with few jobs, food shortages, and ongoing conflict. Many are terrified about what awaits them as they struggle to survive in a place they once fled. Number 6. Cuba. Cuban nationals are now being sent back in large numbers, even with political tensions between the U.S. and Cuba. Deportations have increased under stricter policies, marking a significant shift in U.S.-Cuba relations, particularly for those who came seeking asylum and a better future. Many Cubans who thought they were safe now face the fear of being sent back to a country where life remains difficult and uncertain. Families are worried, struggling, and unsure about what will happen next. Number 5. Dominican Republic. Dominican immigrants are now being sent back in large numbers. As one of the largest Caribbean migrant groups in the U.S., many Dominicans are at risk of losing everything. Deportations are hitting hard, particularly in New York and Florida, where Dominican communities have thrived for years. Families are being torn apart, businesses are struggling, and local economies are feeling the impact. Many who have worked hard to build a life in America now face an uncertain and difficult future. Number 4. Colombia. Colombian immigrants in the U.S. are now in serious trouble. Immigration raids have surged, putting many at risk of being sent back. Families are scared, unsure if they'll be next. The number of deportations is rising fast, sparking outrage and protests from immigrant rights groups. Many Colombians have built lives in the U.S., but now they face uncertainty and fear as strict immigration policies take hold. Number 3, Ecuador. Ecuadorian migrants are facing a tough reality. Many who came to the U.S. to escape poverty and hardship are now being sent back in large numbers. Families are devastated as the breadwinners are suddenly deported. Loved ones left behind are struggling to survive, and the financial impact is significant, leaving many uncertain about their future. Number 2, Nicaragua. Nicaraguan immigrants are being sent back, and the situation is getting worse with the U.S.'s increased focus on deportations.